Right, some more fast forwarding to start things off, since we explored a good amount of ground to get here and we're just leaving this corner. As a side note, it's complete bullshit for an X to turn back into a monster when it looks like we should absorb it near instantly. That's not the first time this has happened to me in this series, but funnily enough, I think it is the first time for this specific game. Didn't think that would be the case since the X have been in only 2 games, and this one is most definitely harder than Fusion. Great! Another enemy that we've never seen before, so I have no way to prepare for its attack pattern. Just stay dead already! Right! I definitely appreciate getting that. Now let's see what else we can find by going further through the depths. As if I needed more proof that we're on the right track for the gravity suit. Not sure why that thing needed a different appearance than the whale things we've seen before. At least I think that's different than the whales we've seen before. Right, so we can't go down from here. Kinda wish we had more reason to use that handy trick from the charge beam. Of course, I also wish we had more offensive options in Morph Ball mode than just rolling up and bombing enemies that attack via melee. It's a solid trick, but pretty circumstantial most of the time. For some reason, I thought there was a wall there. Thankfully, the shots these things are firing off randomly don't have any kind of tracking ability. If anything, it's kind of a nice way to show off that while in older games you could only have very specific angles you could shoot from, in this one you can shoot all 360 degrees. The closest thing we saw to something shooting at us that randomly was the enemy type that shot in all directions at once. I honestly felt that was more intimidating to me than just the random shot spraying, but maybe that's just me. Besides, as I've said a few times already, it's pretty much impossible for something that can actually be fought against to feel scarier than the things that, for the most part, we cannot harm. Especially since the previous robot we killed showed just how circumstantial the means to killing one of those things can be, even when you know what you're doing. At least I assume I know what I'm doing this many clips into the game. But again, this game has a way of really chopping down my self-confidence. Okay, was not expecting that to affect the background like that. I assume the bottom didn't look like this before we sent that thing crashing down. It's been an amazingly long time since we outright altered the terrain with what we've done in this game. Hell, we outright started doing something like that back at the absolute beginning when we were shifting around where water was. Right, apparently this upgrade is worth a cutscene. Alright, we now have the gravity suit. Things have opened up a hell of a lot for us now. Though I'm sorry to say that white does not go very well with the purple and red there. It looked better with orange and red. Not that I have all that much ground to be the fashion police here. I just feel the need to say the color combo doesn't quite look right to me. Which is a shame, since this is most certainly the most effective suit we're gonna get in this game. Unless, of course, they decide to give us some extra suit upgrade for some reason. But I somehow doubt it. The only defensive property they can work on at this point is our ability to just take straight-on damage.
The X have spread across the entire planet. Assume all living organisms have by now been replaced by X. There is another problem you may have noticed. The temperature of ZDR has started to fall. I cannot say for certain if the X are to blame, but the drop in temperature is indisputable. The gravity suit should keep you insulated from the effect of low temperatures. Even so, beware the unexpected and proceed with caution.
Well, the water under us hasn't turned to ice. It hasn't gotten all that cold around us just yet. So, we're once again heading back to the absolute first area of the game. The map of the overall sectors is starting to look a bit like a spider web. Though maybe that's just me. It's not especially complicated, just more interconnected than I'm used to for the Metroid games. Right, and we immediately arrive to a place with snow? I know we were expecting it to be cold, but last time I checked, this was still underground. I get why there's ice, but snow is a little harder to understand considering where this is supposed to be. I'm also not quite sure how to react to the fact that there isn't even the slightest hint of risk that we could go sliding all over the place due to sprinting across icy surfaces. But maybe that's just because a lot of other Nintendo games would do that sort of thing to us. Looks like some of the X have been trapped in the ice. So does that mean this was done by Ravenbeak and Adam just incorrectly attributed it to the X? It wouldn't be the first time he's made that kind of blatant mistake. When the robots were reactivated, he thought it was Ravenbeak when it was the Xified corpse of Quiet Robe. And to be especially fair there, that was absolutely no way he or Samus could have known about that since only the audience saw that cutscene. But enough about that, we've got to fight against another spearman here, and this one had the sense to bring a shield to make things more troublesome for us. He also seems to have some changes to his attack pattern. Apparently the plasma beam does absolutely nothing to his shield. I wonder why all of his armor isn't made of that same material. Definitely not the right time to counter. Right! Timing was wrong for that one as well. Excuse me, just going to skip over 3 more failed rematches so we get to the one where I actually succeed. And that actually reminds me of why I never actually managed to completely beat the Wii Punch-Out game in all the years I've tried so far. I get to the championship bouts, and after a while the sheer number of defeats I have under my belt gets so bad that I want to start the game over again. Well, at least we don't have to deal with that shield anymore. Definitely a lot more mobile than the other spearmen we fought so far. Guess that's why he wears red. And now we're in the next stage for this fight. That is most definitely something new. It's a little hard to aim and shoot at the same time in this game, and staying stationary is just asking to get hit by that ranged attack. Seriously, who decided to give us a mini-boss who's this damn mobile and has a ranged attack anyway? Good God, just how much longer do I have to keep this up? I know we're approaching the end of the game, but dear God, let me have an actual breather at some point. Yeesh! We spent an obscene amount of that fight just being one hit away from death. At least that's how it felt to me. I'm getting the distinct feeling that even with all the possible energy tanks this far in, that I still would have felt pretty pressured by this particular bastard. Much less whoever comes after him. I'm not even sure why I came back in here. Okay, what even was that attack? Well, whatever those things are, they don't give us anything for killing them in that specific way. Okay, nothing we can do from here at the moment with everything frozen over, so let's find somewhere else to try. Well, at least this corner was a good spot to finish healing up. Since we don't have any means to immediately melt ice, time to start moving to the right. Well, at least I managed to counter that one. Great! After the last fight, I'm not even sure I can say an extra energy tank is a comfort. I should not feel just as uninterested in energy tanks as I do missiles. Right. Nothing hidden in this room, so there was no need to suddenly turn around and check it. Still, I suppose there was no harm in checking it for just a few seconds anyway. And good God, While we did explore a lot of this sector before, that was all before the weather decided to change on us. And some of these doors randomly do not open. I have the distinct feeling that looking at the map now is going to be less useful than usual. Not that my map reading skills have been anything special in this playthrough. Yeah, I didn't think there was anything new in here either, but no harm in checking. It's not like we can do anything to get through that iced over door. Yeah, I kinda wish the map reflected the fact that we haven't actually explored this area while it's in this condition. But then I suppose this far into the game they're trying everything they can to make things as difficult as possible for us. After all, we're getting closer and closer to getting to the final area and fighting the final boss. Even if this game has had us bouncing around so much, I don't know precisely how long that might take. Again, nothing I can do that way. I suppose we're heading back to the save point then. And while I'm tempted to take a break the moment we get to that specific save point, I'm sure I can squeeze in at least one more raw bit of footage into this clip before we're done.
Uploading data.
I have determined the reason for the planet's rapid cooling. Thermal energy is no longer being routed from Cataris. This area, Arteria, is located in the depths of the planet. Much of it will be frozen. Find a way to thaw any frozen doors and pools you encounter. The central control system you activated in Cataris is still operational. Some force must be physically blocking the routing of thermal energy. I suspect a powerful X is involved. You must annihilate it. Return here after solving the problem. The cooling has prevented you from exploring this area. There must be a vital ability hidden somewhere here.
Another sealed up door! Anyone else getting the feeling we're being led to some very specific place? Probably the specific place where the next boss is? At the very least, I've got to respect the fact that they went out of their way to make the background seem distinctly different from how it was the last time we were down here. Sure, that was a long time ago, and technically the terrain, with the exception of everywhere with water, is exactly the same as when we first came here. With the exception of maybe some extra sealed doors. But it's still more than we usually get when revisiting an old area after a long period of times in various games. Was kind of hoping for a new path, not a missile upgrade. But I suppose it's something I hadn't managed to grab here before, so technically it's progress. Well, that was a stupid way for me to get hurt, but then we have another save point nearby, and I do need a break. Certainly took less time for me to reach the next save point, but hey, I'll take it. Hopefully this next bit of rest will prevent the next fight from outright breaking me.